So, if you've been around since, 100 subscribers, you probably remember this rig, which I released around that time. For my level of rigging back then, I'd say it was pretty okay, but it had a lot of bugs and was quite laggy, which I'm guessing was probably driving a lot of people away from using it. And so now I decided to remaster it, I guess I could say. Yeah, I'd call this a remaster, but with some extra additions, hints at the 0.5. I can't really call this 2.0 because like I said, it's not really a sequel to the other rig. It's more just a remake with some extra additions to it. And some differences, as you can see right here. So, where do I start? For starters, the rig is a lot more optimized. Unlike the last version, this one actually has anti-lag. It's kind of difficult to see because it's in its default pose, but per se, let's say I'm opening the mouth, it looks really low poly, right? Or not very detailed. If I move this up past this first line, it'll get one subdivision. If I move it up even further, it'll get two subdivisions. So basically, only turn this up if, let's say, you're working on facial expressions, or if your computer can handle having high poly mesh 24/7. You know what? There's not very much use explaining how most of the body works because it's pretty standard for Minecraft rigs. So I might as well just get on to the customization. So as you can see here, this seems a bit different. There is a rotational slider. So because it's locked on all the location axes, then even if you press G, which normally moves the location of stuff, it'll still rotate it. And as you can see, as I rotate it over to the specific options, it displays different panels. First up is animation, which includes stuff such as squash and stretch toggles, fancy feet toggle, head rotation. For those of you who don't know what that means, whenever I rotate, let's say the torso, the head rotates with it. If I turn off head rotation, then it will rotate on its own global axis. Though this is bypassed with the root bone. It has IK toggles along with global IK toggles, eye movement, eyebrow movement, mouth, square mouth option, and just like the previous one, has the extra face mesh up here. If you don't like this, then I have an extra slider here. If you move this up, it'll put it in place of the actual face, just like most normal rigs, and works perfectly fine. You might just have to get used to seeing all the lines. But besides getting used to the lines, it's basically just your normal face rig. And like I said, if you want to see it in the same amount of polygons that's going to be in the final render, just move this up and it's done. Subdivisions. And next up, we have customization. Just like the name says, it's customizable. As you can see, whenever I activate the custom panel, it adds these two bones to the face. What are they? This one up here is for scaling the eyebrows in any way you want. I don't know, maybe you have thin eyebrows, thick eyebrows, your choice. And this second bone here is for moving the eye location. You can move it up, down, I don't know, for weird 1 pixel mouse skins. Or have it up really high for those of you like derp or something like that. And if you rotate the bone, then it'll scale up the eyes to 2 pixel. Next up on the actual panel, we have the Alex arms for those of you who have Alex format skins, such as myself. Not only does the rig have Alex arms, but it also works with fingers. Though they obviously, as you can see, may not have the same effect as on the Steve arms where the fingers are longer, it's there nonetheless. And because I'm already on the topic of fingers, might as well show it off for the main model as well. Works perfectly fine. Ignore that, I'll fix it. It all works perfectly fine. I swear. Alright, I'll make a note to fix this before I set up the download file. But in the meantime, I'm gonna continue to show the rest of the options. So, next to the finger toggle, there's also thumb filling. Slide this up and boom, thumb filling's off. Simple. Next up is the smooth bend toggle. Just like usual. All of your average rigs always have sharp bends. However, some of them do have smooth bend options, and this one is one of them. Slide this up and you have smooth bends. Though it doesn't look that great right now, that would be the fault of the Antilag controller. Switch this up and this is what it'll look like in the final render. Next up is the female slider. That basically just deforms the body into, I guess, what you would have as a female body for a Minecraft character. And the fourth slider is for no face. This turns off all the face meshes and all of the facial controllers so they don't bother you. Next up, eye sparkle. Self-explanatory. Nose, which also was on the previous rig but was kind of painful to control. This time it's a lot easier to control. So when you turn it on, then an extra controller appears along with a nose mesh. Here, let me turn on ambient occlusion, make it a lot easier to see. Yeah, there is the nose. You can move it up and down. You can scale it just like with the eyebrows. And if you move it on the local Z axis, you can stretch it out. And keep in mind, it also appears on the visual controller. So just in case you do like using this anyway, then you have an idea of where the nose is. Lastly, or second to last, we have the eyebrow control. Second to last, we have the eyebrow controllers. Not controllers, this on. Second to last, for the third time, we have the eyebrow options. The first big slider turns on female eyebrows because I guess that's how Minecraft female eyebrows work, if that makes any sense. It literally just adds an extra pixel to it. And then next to that is the unibrow for those of you who might have a skin that needs a unibrow. And while unibrow is on, then female eyebrows still work. And it works perfectly fine, as you can see here. It might take a little bit of getting used to control it, but it's there if you want it. Lastly is subsurface scattering. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, basically it just allows light to seep through all the edges of the mesh. So let's say put a lamp right here. You can see there's light, but it's pretty difficult to notice because it's only on the flat faces. But now if I turn this on, it's still not super easy to see, but you can definitely see there is difference in the way that the mesh renders. It looks kind of smoother, I guess you could say, and it allows, like I said, light to seep through the edges. In case you want some kind of effect, let's say there's a light behind your character and he's walking away from it, you can have a little outline around him or something like that. I don't know, your choice. Your choice if you want to use it or not. Fair warning though, if you do use it, it's going to slow down your render times a lot if you don't have the best PC. On the topic of materials still, this doesn't work for Blender Internal. Don't use it for Blender Internal, please. Besides, 2.8 is gonna remove internal anyway. So yeah, and I guess that's it for the actual rig features. I guess now just some extras, such as, oh wait, no, forgot these. So this I've already showed you. It's anti-lag. This slider right next to it is for restrict select. So right now you probably don't see it, but I am trying to click all over the mesh. It just doesn't work. But if I turn this on now, then I can click on the mesh. And lastly, there is a wireframe second layer slider. So right now this skin doesn't actually have any second layers, so you don't really notice it. Or because I'm in material mode, you don't notice it. But let's say you have a skin that has a bunch of second layers and you don't want to see it for animation, just slide this and it'll all turn into wireframes. Yeah, I'll give a better example. In solid mode per se, for people who want a less laggy experience while animating, because materials mode does make the viewport laggier. If you move this over, then you'll see all the second layers become wireframes, and it allows visibility for the face and easier finger access and just, I guess, less laggy. Now that I'm actually done with all of the rig options, I guess I can go on to extras. You've probably noticed the second head up here, and it's the extrusion head. So I guess I'll show you how to do that right now. Since Steve doesn't really have much to extrude, I'm just gonna use the base mesh that's already with it. But let's say you have multiple things you want to extrude. What you want to do is press Shift D, which will duplicate it, and then to move the extrusions down to the actual head location, either you can hold down the Z arrow while holding down Control and it'll move on a grid, or you can press G, hold down Control and move it down as well. Both work. I don't know, depends on your level with Blender, what you want to use or what you prefer. To make it easier for extruding, if you have a numpad, you want to press slash, and then it'll go into a viewport where only the selected objects you have currently will be visible. Press tab, and down here you'll see three options: vertices select, or vertices select, edge select, and face select. What you want to do is just go on selecting each and every face that you don't want to extrude and then delete it. So I'll just do that real quick. And delete faces. Now you just have hair. What do you want to do with this? So what you want to do is go to modifiers, add modifier, and do solidify. And then here you'll see multiple options. You want to turn on even thickness and high quality normals. And then here on the actual thickness slider, you want to make it a negative number so it'll extrude outwards. I'm gonna leave it at about 3, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a problem right here where it's not exactly straight. To fix this, grab the top of the face that's deforming or acting up, in this case these two, and then press V, and then just like that it'll be fixed. Then you can press numpad / again, and there you have your extrusions. And lastly, because I know for a fact that people are gonna ask me about this, how do you change the skin? First thing you want to do, go to File, External Data, unpack all into Files, then you want to press Use Files in Current Directory, create when necessary. Once you've done that, you'll be able to replace the image. So I've already left the UV image editor open, but yeah, once you've unpacked the files, then you want to go to Image, Replace Image, and then from here on you can just go to your skin folder, grab any skin you want. Let's see here. Just grab this thing, turn off the face on it. Wrong slider. I know how to use my rig very well, as you can obviously tell. But yeah, then now you can see the skin has been changed along with second layers, and it all renders perfectly fine. Yeah, now I can give you a better example of the wireframes. Now you see the second layer, now you don't. But yeah, that's basically it for this video. If you have any questions, you could just ask me in the comments and I'll answer them. If you have any noticeable bugs that you found that annoy you in any way, or stop you from properly using the rig, just tell me and I'll try my best to fix it. However, as of posting this video, I won't be active for the next month or so. So sorry if you do find bugs and I'm not able to fix them within that time period. But yeah, I guess that wraps up the video. I hope you enjoy the rig, cause you clicked on this video for a reason. But yeah, can't wait to see what you guys do with it. See you.